has been a rough 4 days for the Oakland Athletics. 51 runs scored against them has the team frustrated and seeking some answers. The A's are now 2/3 through their 9-game road trip, and with yesterday's off day here in Florida, they just might have gotten the break they needed. Tonight, Rich Hill takes the ball and will look to continue his dominance away from home. The tall lefty was great last Saturday in Baltimore and will look to start off this series with a win. It's the A's and the Rays, game 1 of 3, and it's next. Well, after an off day yesterday, the A's get back to work tonight. We're at Tropicana Field in downtown St. Petersburg. Rich Hill, the big lefty, is looking for his 5th win of the year, and the A's are looking for a win streak. They'll start with 1. How about that? It's the A's and the Rays coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. The A's have lost 5 in a row, and they'll send their best pitcher to the mound. And Rich Hill has been their best starter this year, Ray, and he's pitched great on the road.
I think that's the biggest thing. His 4 wins have all come away from the Coliseum with a 1+ ERA away from Oakland, but against the Baltimore Orioles, that was the last time the A's won. That was the first game of the day-night doubleheader. The A's won that game. Unfortunately, they have not won since. But Rich Hill, if you look at spring training, you said, oh no, is he going to do this? Because he couldn't throw a strike, but he's throwing a lot of strikes now. Great curveball, sneaky fastball, and really right now he's the best pitcher the A's have.
Now a lot of talk, of course, about the struggles by the A's pitching, but offensively the A's have been pretty decent lately, Ray, and Yonder Alonso's starting to swing the bat, and that's great to see.
You know, it started in Oakland when he said to Darren Bush, I want to see the results of hitting on the field. When he did it in Boston, he went opposite field a couple of times, doubles to left center at Fenway Park. Then he would drive a double down the right field line. But I think the biggest thing for him, he knows he has power, but he also wants to make solid contact. He has been doing that, and really cannot forget about what he's doing at first base. He is a picking machine over there, saving a lot of errors from guys on the left side of the infield. But his hitting is what he wants to do. He did that in Boston. He's really started in Oakland. Let's hope he continues tonight.
So the A's have lost 5 in a row. The Rays have lost 3 in a row. Somebody's hoping to start a win streak tonight. Let's hope it is the Oakland Athletics. Up next, we'll head back inside the A's pregame live studios, and then we'll come back to St. Petersburg for lineups and first pitch. It's the A's and the Rays.
on CSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota. It's Toyota time for big savings on legendary Toyota quality. Take a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
We are inside Tropicana Field, downtown St. Petersburg, in the Dome, as we get set for game one of this three-game series, the A's and the Rays. So the A's enjoying their off day yesterday. Try to get a win tonight. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. Outside, it's 80 degrees, and we're here at a good time of the year. In fact, this is maybe the month-wise nicest weather here in St. Petersburg. Not humid, but it will be soon. So the Rays have taken the field behind their starting pitcher Jake Odorizzi, and here is the A's starting lineup for tonight. Coco Crisp is in left field, and Billy Burns at center. Josh Reddick in right. Chris Davis is the DH. Stephen Vogt will catch. Danny Valencia is at third. Chris Coughlin at second. Yonder Alonso is at first, and Marcus Semien is the shortstop.
It is hard to believe that Jake Odorizzi has not won a ball game, but he's had 6 no decisions. A good pitcher, does not give up a lot of home runs. Ground ball pitcher, but he has been good. But his club, when they've scored runs, as they've done last year, actually had a lead when he left the game in Oakland last time he faced the A's, twice in his career, but a no decision when the bullpen could not hold the lead. But next to Hector Santiago, he's had probably the next most no decisions.
So he's the ND guy. No decision.
Tim Hudson was for a while and is with the Athletics, now retired, but Odorizzi is in that category, but he will throw an assortment of pitches, including a split, and he's got that David Price windup. David was here, and I guess taught it to everybody.
First pitch of the game is a strike to Coco Crisp. So we're underway, 7:10 local time here in St. Petersburg. Crisp, Burns, and Reddick for the A's. Fastball at 91 miles an hour, and it's 0-2. Coco at 236 with 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. He was 3 for 12 in that series at Fenway Park. Fastball was high. Odorizzi last year was kind of a changeup machine. He loves throwing that pitch. So get used to seeing it. 85 miles an hour. That may have been it right there.
Yeah, he throws a split change and a change, but he's good with the pitches, but he's around the plate, and I think the biggest thing is not give up a lot of home runs. If you're a ground ball pitcher, you get the ball on the ground, that is the best way to pitch.
Shift is on. How about that?
Longoria have to figure out where everybody is.
Hit hard, but foul down the right field line.
Well, we know one thing: James Loney is not playing first. He was let go, and they're paying him a boatload of money to be with another organization. And Kevin Cash, second year managing the Tampa Bay Rays, youngest manager still in the big leagues as manager. One of 10 catchers managing the American League. Just thought I'd throw that out.
I think you should. So here's a quick look at the defense for the Rays tonight. Jennings, Kiermaier, and Souza in the outfield. Longoria, Miller, Beckham, and Pierce on the infield. And Casali is your catcher. So another 1-2 to Coco, and here it is. And it missed inside, I believe. That's what Brian Gorman said.
And he's really the one that matters. The fans who are oohing and ahhing and booing, they don't mean a thing, and that ball really didn't come back. And it's trying to get the two-seam fastball back to the inside corner, but it did not come back enough for Brian Gorman.
2-2 is hit hard right to first. Pierce has it, trots to the bag, and Coco is out. So that's the first out here in the first.
Well, the A's were in Toronto, and they removed their turf on the infield and have it just like they have here in St. Pete.
So Brian Gorman is the crew chief, and he is calling balls and strikes tonight. He's come in with a 14-21 record, trying to get things turned around. 5-game losing streak. They've also lost 9 out of 10. They're 9-10 on the road and 5-11 at home.
And started so well away from the Coliseum, but that has changed, especially when you lose 5 in a row and playing in all these Eastern Division cities.
Right, the A's started 7-0 on the road.
Sweep in Seattle, sweep in New York for the first time at the new stadium, and won the first game in Toronto, but has not been good to them since.
0-2 to Burns, hitting .277. And he slaps this one just foul down the third base line.
Billy Burns will rarely have a shift employed by the opposition, and they will shift him to left field in the outfield, but on the infield straight away. The center fielder, Kiermaier, who can cover as much ground as he needs to. Slightly in left center and shallow, and of course the third left fielder Jennings, who also has great speed. So they're expecting Billy Burns to hit it that direction.
Setting up inside, and it's a high fastball, foul just to our left. Sure, Bob Melvin really enjoyed the off day yesterday. The manager's got to sometimes get away from it.
Hope he turned off his phone.
Another foul ball. This one down the left field line a bit.
Cell phones are good, but they can be bad. As far as you want to contact somebody, you don't have your phone with me? No, I left it in the hotel room. Matter of fact, there have been some players who've left their phones in the clubhouse, and they've had to hurry up and go back and get their lifeline. And that's what they call it. Can't forget my phone.
Again, foul. This one off speed pitch, and Burns pulled it. Burns was 3 for 9 in the series in Boston. He's sitting on a 7-game hitting streak. 11 hits and 32 at bats during that 7-gamer.
What a reason. He started 0-2 both to Crisp and Burns. And that is the 8th foul ball with 2 strikes. Burns has had 5 consecutive foul balls.
Drive the pitcher crazy.
You want to roll it up, do something, but if you're ever a way to make a pitcher work, you foul off those pitches, and it kind of leads you to believe is her put away pitch for him. Does he have something that he can throw to get it out, especially with the 2 strikes?
Hard breaking ball down, and you see Arizi kind of look away. Maybe a little frustrated.
Really, he's thrown 16 pitches, 14 strikes. That's what he has done. And one that the fans thought should have been a strike was called a ball.
He wants it down. It's in the dirt.
Swing it that way. Casale getting a lot of playing time. But Hank Conger not very good at throwing out base runners, and neither one of them really hitting a lot. So the word around St. Petersburg, Rays might be looking for a catcher.
Another foul ball, left side.
11th pitch coming up in the at bat. There's Hank Conger, formerly with the Angels and Astros, now with the Rays. 1 for 50 and throwing out base runners.
That's not good.
1 for 50.
That'll get you a trip to the minor leagues.
Ooh.
Longoria coming over. And another one.
That's 8 fouls, Kite, with 2 strikes.
I think he's going to foul off a couple more.
Hope so. Like the great Wade Boggs, Hall of Fame, played for the Rays, hit his home run for his 3,000th hit, kissed home plate. He'd foul off tough pitches, but Billy Burns not quite that category yet. But tonight, Odorizzi might think so.
One more. Reddick waits patiently.
Getting a chance to see everything that Odorizzi could possibly throw.
That time he went inside with a fastball, and Burns pulled it down to the far end of that dugout.
You know, we talk about 10 pitch at bats. How about 10 pitches fouling them off, and then plus another 3 that he's thrown. And this at bat started 0-2. Fastball in.
It's lined past Miller for a base hit. The at bat of the year right there. Billy Burns, even though it's in the first inning, but still.
Bring him in, bring him in.
So Odorizzi missed his spot, and Billy Burns does this.
14th pitch, he singles sharply to left field, and you're right, it was supposed to be inside as Casale gave the fastball sign, moved inside.
So Burns is aboard, and that'll bring up Reddick.
So he threw 14 pitches, 13 strikes. Well, last one might have been a ball if he had taken it, but he hit it for a base hit.
First pitch to Reddick is a fastball high. Reddick at 317 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs.
You know, Capra, as we have talked about often, the pitch counts and how a pitcher's night is really based on how many pitches he throws. Well, this could be very, very disappointing for Odorizzi, because now he has to start thinking about having quick innings, throwing quality strikes. But now all of a sudden, after long at bat by Burns, he throws 2 off the plate against Josh Reddick.
Reddick with 40 hits on the year. He's got 6 doubles and the 4 home runs. And he lines that one to right, and that'll fall in front of Souza for a hit. 2 on 1 out, and Chris Davis will step to the plate.
A nice easy swing from Josh Reddick on a 2-0 fastball. Really not trying to kill it, just ball sinking away. Got it elevated in front of Souza Dreamy right field, and Billy Burns a little bit reluctant to take off. Souza is a great right fielder, has a very good arm. But the people who were cheering were probably on the pass list from Josh Reddick. He's got a whole bunch of people here from out in this part of the country, and had him up in Boston as well, Baltimore. And the way he's hitting, he probably will pay for the travel all over the country.
Chris Davis steps in. His batting average sitting at .232. He's got 7 home runs. Hard slider down and away. And Davis has 18 RBIs. Davis leading the Athletics in RBI, second in home runs. Slider missed again. That was a close pitch. 2-0.
Well, Gorman, you notice his head. He'll turn right if he thinks it's off the plate, and he kind of tells everybody that that was the location and why he called it a ball.
Beckham sneaking in, and to hold Burns at second, and now it's 3-0. On deck is Stephen Vogt. So a couple of 1-out singles, Burns and Reddick. Chris Davis let her rip on 3-0. First 2 innings this year, Odorizzi's ERA is nearly 6. After that, under 2. So here is an early opportunity for the Athletics. Swing and a miss. The changeup.
That might have been ball 4, but it looked good enough to Chris Davis, and pulled the string after swinging on 3-0. Did not get a solo pitch 3-1, and might not get it 3-2.
Yeah, you may throw it again, right?
That's right. It's a good pitch to throw.
And that one is drilled down the left field line, and it is gone. Long drive down the line, and Chris Davis has given the A's a early 3-0 lead.
Pepe hit that ball so hard it couldn't hook. Foul. Well, the fourth 3-run home run for the Athletics this year, and a great one in the first inning. He gave him a fastball. And he waited. He might have gone off speed there, Cat. Looked like a fastball, but it was hit so hard. You think going down the line it might hook foul, but it stayed fair all the way down and then hooked right as it passed the foul pole for a 3-run home run. That was a swung on gone.
Home run number 8. RBIs 19, 20, and 21. One pitch to Stephen Vogt out in front. Sit down the right field line, foul. So 0-2 to Vogt.
A great note.
61 for Stephen.
Great note the guys put about the first inning, first couple of innings, and
8 balls and 25 strikes. Another foul ball. Never know for sure what kind of effect the Burns at bat had on Odorizzi. It is just the first inning, but certainly didn't help him.
Well, it had to make him wonder more than anything about the pitch count, how long you can stand a game.
Correa playing at the shortstop spot.
But I think the one thing, and Rich Hill is pitching, and granted Rich Hill has pitched well on the road. He won the last time the A's actually picked up a victory. That was last Saturday, but the A's have been scoring early. They've been scoring runs, and the offense has not been an issue. And so Rich trying to stay loose. He could go down to the bullpen if he so desired, but he can do his simulated pitching in the dugout.
2 outs for Valencia. Fastball outside. Odorizzi thinks that could be called a strike, and it's a close pitch, but it does look like it's just a little off the plate. It's good to have Valencia back in the lineup. He left the game on Monday. Just a little hamstring tightness. He did not play Tuesday or Wednesday, so he had the off day yesterday, which certainly helped. So he's had 3 days off since then. 1-2 now.
Well, as much as, of course, an injury, a hamstring injury is tough to heal, as we always talk about, but an everyday player does not want a lot of time off, because that swing on a breaking ball out of the strike zone, it's a pitch that he normally will take.
So 38 pitches here in the first inning for Odorizzi.
Happened to think last August when he faced the A's, the Coliseum, he retired the first 9 batters before Billy Burns led off the 4th with a triple. Good guy, Billy Burns again.
Missed again. So full count to Valencia.
Change up.
And that one is hit high and deep, and that baby is gone. It hit something somewhere. May have got a ring. Either way, that's a home run, and that was well struck, folks.
And that is his first home run, and we're at May 13th, so that has to feel great for him, especially coming back after not playing, not on the disabled list this time anyway. But saw the changeup sign given by Casale, and the real problem, and I have to believe that it was the same pitch that Chris Davis hit out, but it's not the differential that you want between a fastball and a changeup. And yeah, hit way up there.
No, it hit that ring that it sits right above the home run fence. Pierce has it. Steps on the bag. Coghlan is retired, but major damage done by the Athletics. It started with a 3-run homer by Chris Davis, his 8th of the year, and then Danny Valencia got his 1st of the year. So a 4 spot for the A's in the top of the 1st. In the top of the 1st, Rich Hill has early runs to work with. Let's look at the Rays lineup. Brandon Guyer's having a good season. He's the DH. Jennings is not having a good season. He'll bat 2nd. Then Longoria, Pierce, Souza, Miller, Beckham, Kiermaier, and Casales.
Well, the last start for Rich Hill came last Saturday in Baltimore. The A's scored 8 runs in that game. He gave up just 1. The A's won the opener of the day-night doubleheader. Rich Hill has pitched extremely well on the road with 4 wins, all 4 coming away from the Coliseum, and a little over a 1 ERA away from Oakland. So all that combined tonight, 4-run lead in the 1st inning. Looks good for Rich Hill. Just try to get outs.
First pitch to Guyer in first strike.
Hey, the over-under tonight for Guyer is how many times Rich Hill might hit him, because Guyer's been hit 10 times. Been hit 10 times, and evidently he's not afraid to take one for the team. See how he kind of steps into the ball a little bit. So Rich might not throw him a curveball, because the curveball going to the back foot is one that would hit or could possibly hit Guyer.
Guyer has more hit by pitches than 15 teams in baseball.
See the lean, and also I think Brian Anderson on the TV side with Dwayne Stats said it best, that he turns away from the ball with his upper body while the lower part goes into the ball and tries to get hit.
So it looks like he's trying to avoid it, but he's really not.
Yeah, we'll see if they're wondering about the back foot curveball, and here comes one now. There it is. See
and that did not.
See it step into it.
You were about to be Nostradamus right there, Rick.
Oh, I got one up in Seattle, I guess.
Yeah, you missed that one.
Didn't figure that one in. 24. I mean, he's the Ron Hunt, Craig Biggio, Don Baylor of the current era.
Hit hard right to short. Simeon throws in time. 1 out. Let's look at the A's defense for tonight. In the outfield, it's Chris, Burns, and Reddick. On the infield, Valencia, Simeon, Coghlan, and Alonso, with Stephen Vogt doing the catching.
Well, what Rich Hill did, the one that almost hit Guyer, then Stephen Vogt caught another curveball, but he started it outside, and that's the kind that freezes a lot of the right-handed hitters.
Here's Desmond Jennings. Would you say he's struggling, Ryan?
Oh, for him with his speed, you wonder how that is possible.
He has 1 for his last 35. The Rays are 15-17 on the year. 5.5 games back in the East. They've lost 3 in a row after winning 4 in a row. Their road trip started well. We just concluded road trip.
Well, that last pitch says it all. 2-0 fastball. Had to know it was coming. Swung right through it. Another one.
Well placed that time by Hill, right on the outside corner.
A lead by a team and for a pitcher can mean a lot to the pitcher. I mean, why would he mess around and try to throw a breaking ball, maybe walking a batter, when he can throw his fastball? See what he does 2-2.
Close pitch. Evan Longoria to follow here in the bottom of the first.
Curveball that just did not break in from the outside part of the plate, and really Jennings froze on it and gave up, but it just did not catch enough of the plate. Like that.
Sweeping curveball, and Jennings walks.
Time now for the Nissan keys to the game, and it's all about Rich Hill, the starting pitcher, and you get some good quality pitching. Rich Hill has done it, trying to be the stopper. The A's have lost 5 in a row. He's shaking his head. He's wondering about the 3-2. It wasn't called a strike, and for the offense, keep it going. Yes, they scored runs in Boston. Pitching didn't hold it tonight. 4 runs in the first inning, thanks to a 3-run shot by that man, and saw Dan Valencia hitting his first of the season. You know, with Rich Hill shaking his head, I think he thought pitch was a strike that Brian Gorman may not have been expecting on 3-2.
It was probably more of a strike than you think it was.
Exactly.
His breaking ball moves so much. It's kind of a sweeping, big break curveball, and it is a pitch that I think an umpire will at times miss. Not an easy pitch to call the ball and strike on.
Well, and Stephen Vogt, I'm sure, as he's talking to Rich Hill now, would say the same thing to Brian Gorman. And I think Rich is saying to Vogt, wasn't that a strike? You know, that guy, Steve Vogt. Rich Hill calls him Steve, not Stephen. But, you know, you tell the umpire, don't give up on his curveball. You know, Barry Zito, we talk about him and how the umpires would kind of quit on it and call it a ball before it finished its break. Rich Hill's the same way.
3-0 now to Longoria. Longoria at 233, 6 homers, 17 RBIs.
And the way he's gone, he may be swinging 3-0. This whole team might be swinging 3-0. And
it's high. 4-pitch walk. So back-to-back walks.
Now he's got to go back to his curveball. He missed 4 fastballs to Longoria. 3-1 or 2-2 and 3-2 were curveballs to Jennings that he walked him.
So here's Pierce. Pierce, a dangerous right-handed hitter, and he's a hot hitter right now. He's hitting .400 against lefties this year, and he's got 13 hits in his last 34 at bats.
The note about the Rays against left-handed starting pitchers, they're 6-4, one of the best in the league. Chill has to find a way to minimize the damage after walking 2 batters.
It's high now, 2-0. Pierce is a free agent. A couple pretty good years with the Baltimore Orioles. He's got good power. He was 15 home runs last year for the Orioles, 21 the year before. And that one's a strike.
Rich Hill right now is a little frustrated, and if he was standing in front of the mound, he almost asked for a new ball and he flipped it up and said, forget it. You know, so I mean, see all those things that kind of happening right now to him.
Curve, he gets the call there. Well, that alone may make Rich Hill feel better against that strike.
This is the big sweeping curveball. Like you said, it starts outside, goes inside, and belt high all the way. A pitch that Pierce definitely was not thinking he was going to be receiving on that count.
Went to the breaking ball again. This one down a little bit. Pierce fouls it. Jennings and Longoria are the base runners. Rays trying to answer back here in the bottom of the first inning. So 20 pitches already for Rich Hill. On deck hitter is Steven Souza. So a couple of right-handed hitters here, Pierce and Souza, that have good power.
Drilled toward right center, and that will get down for a hit.
Jennings will score. Longoria hustles to third, and the Rays get one of the runs back. It's 4-1. So Pierce picks up his 12th RBI.
Well, this is a curveball, and really, as you said, Pierce waits back and almost probably thinking he's going to get another one. And ball slicing back to Josh Reddick, and what happened to Billy Burns?
Billy caught some turf.
Wow. That was some turf.
There's Souza. Big, strong guy with lots of power, and he will strike out a lot.
You know, we saw it last Sunday, unfortunately, in Baltimore in the series finale. The A's scored 3 in the first inning, and then all of a sudden, a 2-run shot by man had been shot on the first inning, made it 3-2. They scored again in the third or the second, and all of a sudden, it was all Orioles scoring 11 runs in the game. Finished by the grand slam. So you get the run support, and then, but I think what's happening, Kuiper, is that the pitchers are getting the run support. They say, okay, now I have to hold them, and that puts a little bit added pressure instead of just pitching a normal game.
Two and one to Souza.
Rich Hill knows that he is capable of being the stopper. He knows he's pitched well on the road. Appreciates the run support, but right now struggling to try to find a consistent strike zone.
A couple of walks have hurt Rich Hill here in the first inning. Needs a ground ball right out of infield. And that's a little flare, and that's going to hurt. Longoria trots in, now trying for third and making it. That's Pierce. No, Pierce was just standing at second.
And if Coughlin had made an accurate throw, to throw him out by 10 feet, but he hurried to throw. When he took off, and Coughlin, I mean, that's barely makes the outfield turf. Jammed, and Coughlin got to it, but as he got to it, he fumbles the ball right there, and that's when Pierce took off, and the quick throw offline. But if it's on the bag, he gets him easily, but ends up putting another runner at third. And that's probably going to be an error on Coughlin to allow him to go to third, because he was not moving from second.
Well, and I think it probably should be an error. Pierce was not going to third. He was standing at second. But when he saw the juggle by Coughlin, that's when he took off. So it is an error.
And it should be, rightfully so, because you're right, Pierce was standing at second.
Here's Miller, and Miller bunts, and it's a fair ball out at second. And
wow.
What Brad Miller's doing, I have no idea.
Thank you.
But he just bunted with one out and runners at first and third. And the bunt was about 3 feet from Stephen Vogt. So Vogt gets the out at second base.
And Vogt does a good job at getting the runner at second base also to keep the force in play. And, you know, this could simply be the first left-hander. And Miller thought it's going to go foul as he keeps looking back. But Stephen Vogt, ball got out in front, caught it, threw to second. And I'm glad, because Miller probably got a sacrifice, which he shouldn't have if they'd thrown him out at first base. But that is one that maybe the A's can look back as a huge help if they can get the third out now without a run scoring.
So this is Tim Beckham. A little bit outside. The Rays are playing without quite frankly, a guy who, after Longoria, he may be their second best player. Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, who was hit by a pitch on Monday by Felix Hernandez, and it hit him in the shoulder, and he's been out since then. They thought maybe he would play tonight.
Yeah.
They're being careful with him. He's really turned into a very good player. Beckham playing second base in place of Logan Forsythe tonight. Maybe Forsythe back in the lineup tomorrow. We'll see. That's an important player that the Rays are without. So Rich Hill, 18 pitches per inning on average this year, and that's a lot. And right now he's at 29. Missed again. Very close, and Rich Hill is not happy with Brian Gorman.
And you know what is happening? I saw with Pat Holberg the same thing, that when he was behind the plate, and it's almost immediately Brian Gorman's turning his head right. Watch Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire, turn his head. See, he's almost turning his head before the ball gets close to the plate. And he may be seeing it out there and not waiting for the ball to break.
But I'm not sure that's strike.
No, I agree.
I think it's coming around the plate.
No, it definitely, that one was coming around the plate.
But you don't want to see Rich Hill get too frustrated.
Yeah.
And I think he is already at that point.
But he walked 3 in his last start against the Orioles. He walked 4 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Both games he won. But it's also, counting tonight, allowed 7 walks to come around to score. The 2 tonight in this inning. And
so Pierce at third, Miller at second, Beckham at first, and here's Kevin Kiermaier. Pitch to Kiermaier is on the inside corner, first strike. So Kiermaier and Miller are the 2 left-handed hitters in the Rays lineup against Hill. Right at Coughlin. That's it, throws to first, side retired. So long first inning comes to an end. The Rays get a couple of runners back. Rich Hill and Stephen Vogt both chatting with Brian Gorman. T-Mobile, another transaction today for the Athletics, as Matt McBride was brought back up from AAA. Catcher can play a couple different positions, and Zach Neal, the right-handed pitcher, was optioned back down. So Matt McBride up, Zach Neal down.
And it is important that McBride is here because Josh Phegley's right knee is bothering him a little bit, and so if a catcher is needed, might not be Josh Phegley. As a matter of fact, I'd have a pretty good idea it's not going to be him. So let's hope Stephen Vogt can stay healthy, stay in the game, and McBride's there just in case. By the way, 75 pitches in the first inning total, Kyle. So, you know, 42 and 33. That's just a 35-minute inning with a lot of pitches.
This one's popped up foul, but Josh Phegley had a cortisone shot in his knee. And that usually takes at least a couple days to kind of calm things down a little bit. But it sounded like Phegley, and I do remember in Toronto, he slid into first base. Trying to avoid a tag, kind of a quick slide into first base. He said that's when he first felt it. Well, so we'll keep an eye on Phegley. And hopefully he won't have to go on the disabled list. But
well, what happened, and one thing, remember, he jammed his right leg into the bag, trying to kind of move around and slide, do all those things. And, you know, he said it's similar to what happened to Ben Zobrist last year signing to Kansas City. You know, that he hurt. Zobrist went on the DL, had arthroscopic surgery. So there are two catchers talking a little ball. The pitcher and catcher. The pitcher, of course, has got a great ERA.
1-2 the count to Yonder Alonso. Simeon to foul, and then Crisp. So it's really been a transaction per day, at least one transaction per day for 5-6 days now for the A's. And that one is looped into left center field, and Alonso has a base hit. So talked about Yonder Alonso in the open of our show, and he's really starting to swing the bat well. Thought at Fenway Park, Ray, what was great is we saw him hit a bunch of balls to left center field hard, and then he pulled a couple balls down the right field line.
And this one, while it was not hard hit, but landed it perfectly beyond the infielders. But it's amazing, and we talked about it in Boston when he hit so well, and how he thought it was important to get out on the field and see the results. And you wouldn't think about it, so much done in the cage and on the tee and flip. But he said, I want to see what I'm doing. And he got out on the field, hit the walk-off, and he's been hitting ever since.
Simeon hits it high and foul down the right field line. Simeon at 205. He's got 8 home runs, 16 RBIs. Short lead for Alonso at first. And that one is dropped into right field for a hit.
That's the thing of beauty.
So the A's are at it again.
That's a great approach by Marcus Semien on a slider, moving away from him. And don't try to pull it, just go with it to the opposite field. He did it perfectly. Watch his nice, easy swing on the ball away from him. And he just reached out, served it to right field. Like he knew it was coming. He's going to stay with it instead of trying to pull it. Shading him a little bit to the left side anyway, but what a great swing by Marcus. He's got the home run swing. Now he wants those, and he had a few of those last year with the infield playing it to the left and just shot it to right field.
Bunted nicely by Coco Crisp, and Coco's going to be aboard if the ball stays fair, and it does not.
Wow.
Had a lot of eyeballs staring at it, and it just trickled foul.
Well, a smart play for them from the Rays standpoint, because once Coco got past the rolling baseball, he was going to beat it out. It's just a matter of whether it stayed fair or not. And it did, unfortunately. But what a great bunt. And right there, the first baseman let it roll. And roll and roll, and got 2 players and an umpire. Of course, waiting to see if the ball was going to hit the bag or not. That's why the umpire had his nose in there, and it just missed it. Hits the bag, it's a base hit. Instead, Coco has to try it again.
Coco grounded out in the first inning. Goes bunt again and bunts it foul. That pitch was kind of a tough pitch to bunt. It was a fastball up and in.
He's trying to bunt it to the first baseman, and that's why the angle of the bat, and then he just bunted it too hard. Normally you wouldn't think Coco would be bunting because of his speed, but this is turf, and the ball is going to get to the infielders a little bit quicker than it would on grass.
0-2 pitch to Coco. He's blocked nicely by Casale. Burns to follow. He's had 4 hits in the first inning, 2 more here in the second inning. Fastball is high.
The thing about Coco, he has been very disciplined, and he does not swing a lot of bad pitches once up in the zone. A lot of it is because once he gets a couple of strikes, he will not strike. And you want an aggressive hitter to swing at a bad pitch, but he seems to kind of hit flat-footed when he has a couple of strikes. He will not usually offer at a one up and out of the strike zone.
Oh, and I think the advantage to that for Coco, he's done that a long time, but he very seldom is he off balance when he swings.
Exactly. Yep. And very strong with his upper body. If you don't stride and you hit him as far as he does at times, you are strong.
He's continued to just foul pitches off and make Odorizzi work. He's working overtime here in the first 2 innings. 56 pitches already, and they're starting to move around out in that bullpen. In fact, there's the catcher sitting there waiting, and it looks like it's going to be former A. Dana Evelyn. He's now starting to climb up to the top of the mound.
That'll help.
Kiermaier goes back, and Kiermaier can't find it, and now he does find it, and he makes the catch. Well, I thought it was interesting, Ray. Off the crack of the bat, it did not look like a very deep fly ball, but Kiermaier went back, and he did not see it.
Big swing from Coco Crisp, and Kiermaier won a Gold Glove last year. That's right, he goes back and whoa, then doesn't see it, and then picks it up.
And it's funny, it ended up being right about where he was playing.
The key there, he didn't take his eye off, and he just kept looking, because he has the speed and can recover quickly enough as he did to be able to get to the ball. It's amazing. Play 81 games here, and he wins a Gold Glove, making some spectacular catches in the outfield.
Burns down and in. One of the best at bats of the year by Billy Burns in the first inning. What was the total, Ray?
14
pitch at bat.
Started 0-2 and threw one down out of the strike zone. Fouled off 10 after you got to 0-2.
And when it was all said and done, he lined a single to the left, and that started the 4-run rally. 1-1 now. So there's Dana Evelyn. He looks the same, just maybe 3 or 4 years older.
Actually, there's a kid who works in the Texas Rangers visiting clubhouse that looks just like him.
Yeah.
Actually in better shape.
Well, I didn't say that. You did.
Well, of course. I said it to Dana. I mean, he's always had one of those problems, but he's left-handed, and of course Brad Boxberger is going to be back by the end of the month, and going to have to make a move. He's the closer for the Rays. Just looks like Miguel Olich, that's all.
Bounce toward Longoria. He's got it on the run, throws a second for 1, and Beckham, he dropped it, but he dropped it when he was pulling it out of his glove, so the out is recorded at second base.
It's almost like he didn't want to try to hold up his throw, knowing he had no chance to throw out the speedy Billy Burns. Longoria, great play as always, the feed, and then nope. Well, it's important there for Marcus to slide straight into the bag. Don't want a double play turn. Of course, it was here against Toronto. They're looking at it, actually, and they decided against it. But it was here that Toronto looked like they had won the game. Forsythe coming across the bag, and that's when Bautista grabbed his foot. 2 runs scored, but the double play was called, similar to what Kevin Cash just did now. Game ended. But you can't slide through the bag.
Let's judge the slide, right?
Yeah. You got to go right at the bag.
His foot's on.
And he actually sliding, his momentum just carried him. He started to slide way out in front and actually stopped on the bag, and
nothing wrong there.
No, and you can't fault Marcus. You fault more the second base, because he stood on the bag.
So here's Reddick. The A's need a 2-out hit. Reddick had a hit in the first, and then he scored on Davis' home run. Reddick lined to single to right. Came in with the 10th best batting average in the American League. Casale, the catcher, comes out, gives some signs. Let's get the infielders ready in case Burns were to take off. Alonso can get a big lead at third because Longoria is well off the line. Pitch is high.
You know what's important about that? That's a good point, because for Alonso, he can go down the line. If there's any pass ball, wild pitch, ball gets away from the catcher, it does not have to roll to the backside. And if he's going down the line with that lead on the front foot that he can take off on a ball that bounces.
There goes Burns, and it's fouled at the plate. And really, you almost got to believe, Ray, if you're Longoria, I mean, just stay where you're at.
Right.
I mean, Alonso's not going to steal home.
Right.
Right. So
now I think they're asking if that was a foul ball. I don't know that it was, to be honest. Yeah, it was foul.
I think it was.
Yeah, definitely a good shot, guys.
So the count 2-1.
It'd be strange for Reddick not to believe that he fouled the ball. He should have known, and for some reason he pointed to the ground.
So Burns with a good lead. See if he goes again. He does not. And now it's 3-1. I don't think either pitcher is real happy with Brian Gorman tonight. There's been a lot of close pitches, and most of the close pitches have gone the hitter's way.
Okay, I'm just thinking about the pitch and that was fouled. Casale knew he didn't have a chance to throw out Billy Burns. He could have let the ball drop. And maybe that's why they were looking, because the ball hit the pocket and then it fell out. And maybe Bob Melvin's saying, did he attempt to catch it, or did he have it and let it drop out of his glove, which would put the runner back to first.
And the pitch is up and away, and it's a walk.
I never did that, but it's a good idea.
You would never do that.
Well, Chris Davis, a 3-run home run, the A's 4th of the season. Chris Davis' first 3-run home run, and he crushed it. And normally when Chris Davis makes contact, it does not take long to disappear, and that one got into the outfield seats in left field. No chance to hook. And Chris Davis ties Marcus Semien with the team lead, and of course 21 runs batted in, and opportunity here again.
What a great spot to be in if you're Chris Davis. You hit a 3-run homer in the first inning, and you come up in the second inning, and the bases are loaded. And then whatever happens, you know you're probably going to get 3 more at bats at least.
Well, and also you know that Odorizzi can't pitch you carefully and pitch around it because the bases are loaded.
So Alonso, Burns, Reddick are the runners. The first pitch, a slider just a touch low. And if you're a pitcher now, I mean, it's a hitter strike zone.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, a changeup on 1-0 with the bases loaded. How about that?
Well, as you said earlier, it's his best pitch, and you know he's getting more pine tar or the stickum, and really Brian Gorman really should disallow that, because once a hitter gets in the batter's box, he's really not allowed to go back to the on-deck circle or to get additional stickum. Although his hand left the bat, maybe Gorman decided to protect everybody to let him get more.
And that one is drilled toward right center, but Kiermaier racing over, and that's why he's got a Gold Glove. He is terrific out there. He got a good jump, and he tracked it down. So well struck ball by Chris Davis, but the A's leave him loaded in the second. And California is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. Beautiful sunset here in St. Petersburg, St. Pete Beach. A's and the Rays. A lot going on early. It's just the bottom of the second inning, and it's a 4-2 game. Both pitchers, lots of pitches. Rich Hill, 33 in the first inning.
And we might try to figure out who's most frustrated.
That's a good one. So 1-1 the count to Casale.
Well, if Hill and Vogt both said something to Brian Gorman after the first inning, and I'm sure Stephen Vogt had said something during the inning, maybe Brian Gorman's just wondering who's right. He is, because he's the umpire.
He is, that's right. 2-1 the count. Geyer to follow, and then Jennings in the second inning. A couple of runs on a couple of hits for the Rays in the first. Hill also walked 3.
Well, it's just saying, here it is, see if you can hit it, and not a bad idea, because so far the Rays have swung through pitches that, you know, Rich is throwing them basically just down the middle.
Curve, strike 3 called. So Hill gets the call on the breaking ball. Casale thought it was high. He thought the first pitch was high as well. So 1 out. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. September 13th of last year, Rich Hill makes his first major league start since 2009. It was right here, and he strikes out 10, and he was terrific. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. So that was the first of that end of the year run for Rich Hill, where he really kind of came out of nowhere. He was great, and it ended up he got a $6 million deal from the Yankees,
and with a lot of clubs interested in it.
Yeah. But he may look back at that start and say that was huge.
Well, this is what he did, the 10 strikeouts, and you look at the Tiger game, the Yankee game this year, and I think you go back to last 4, well, not last 4 because he didn't have them in Baltimore, but in 2 this year and that one, that's 10 strikeout games. I mean, he's up in the stratosphere with some of the great strikeout pitchers this year.
The Red Sox were out of it in September last year, but it was an important month for Rich Hill. It probably saved his career.
Absolutely. Even Craig Breslow decided he may come out of the bullpen and attempt to start. Whoa.
And that's a good pitch. Call the ball.
Wow.
And Stephen Vogt was ready to throw it around the horn. You do that after a strikeout.
Yeah. Well, and that's why he thought, thank you, strikeout, let's throw it around the infield. Oh, let's flip it back to the pitcher, and then say, what's wrong with
That's
you,
a strike.
Brian? That is a strike. What's
right at the knees?
Oof.
Geyer, a 1-hopper, backhanded by Valencia. Valencia, smooth play, 2 outs.
You know, sometimes when that happens, Cap, you say, you know, you go back and say to the Brian Gorman, hey, didn't mean to show you up. Instead, you say, how did you miss that? Well, fortunately, Valencia made this play, backhanded, nice throw over to Alonso, and gets Geyer the leadoff hitter, because after that pitch, it looked like he should have been strike 3. Gets a chance, almost hit a double thanks to a good play by Valencia to prevent that.
So with 2 away, Desmond Jennings will hit. He walked and scored in the first. Jennings hits it towards Simeon, who has it. And Rich Hill has a 3-up, 3-down inning with a strikeout. Third inning coming up from Tropicana Field. A's with a 4-2 lead.
The ballpark on a Friday night with the Friday Family Pack. You get 4 Plaza level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, 4 bags of peanuts for just $60 at every Friday home game. Buy now at athletics.com/familypack, subject to availability. And we just continue to alert everybody. 1 week from today is the day, the 20th. Is that right? Today's Friday the 13th, right?
Hope nothing bad happens.
And it's not going to happen this Friday. Nor next Friday when it's the birthday.
Your day next Friday.
Birthday next Friday. Boy, you're going to have so many gifts at the party. People are going to just bring them.
I don't want any gifts.
Well, you know there'll be people just lining up to bring up to the booth.
I don't know how. I mean, nobody knows about it. I mean, nobody's been saying anything about it.
It's just every time I read a promo. We haven't even talked about the fireworks on that night. And then we'll talk about your birthday again.
Greece.
Just letting Amanda know, you know, just reminding her. Oh, wow. Now look at Casale. Wow.
Yeah, well, I think even Stephen Vogt may say, you know what, that was probably a strike.
You tell me what's wrong with this pitch. And Casale definitely showed the displeasure. Stephen Vogt, I mean, that's thigh. That's not even kneecap. Thigh down the middle.
Two and two to Vogt, who bounced out to Longoria in the first inning. That was with the shift on, so Longoria really playing the shortstop spot. This one hit high in the air toward right center. Kiermaier sees this one the whole way, and he's got it.
Hey, Cap, as a reminder to the fans who are watching, this is one park where the batter's eye is so high that our center field camera is pretty much straight over the mound. It's just slightly, but so when we get to center, that shot right there, that's as close to being in the strike zone right over the mound. And that's why those pitches that we're talking about, I mean, they look like they're strikes, mainly because that camera angle is pretty much almost dead on over the mound.
Well, if I remember correctly, and of course, Delaire and Tommy, producer, director, and Chuck know better than us, but I think it's just here in Minnesota in the American League where you have the angle of the camera right really over top of the pitcher, so it's really directly in line with home plate, where most of the other places are just off a little bit.
And to an angle that you see pitchers say, well, but the angle in left center slightly, or
a little bit,
is enough. But this is, and like you said, with Minnesota Target Field, they are both right over the mound. Well, Danny Valencia hit his first of the season, and it came on Friday the 13th, the day he'll remember, and it was a changeup, but not a lot of differential, because it definitely did not fool Danny Valencia. Well, we're told the fourth to hit the C ring.
C ring.
Yeah.
It hit. Valencia hits this one to right field, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. So Valencia's home run, it hit the C ring. Now they have a full set of rules here that has to do with the 4 rings that are above this stadium. Now just hang in there and read this. The A ring is the highest one and the smallest one, and then B, C, D. Any fair ball that hits the C or the D ring is a home run, and those are the 2 lower catwalks. A fair ball that hits the A or B ring, which are the 2 highest ones, that's in play, so you got to play it.
Yeah. You
got to wait for it to come down. And if a ball stays in either of the catwalks, it's a ground rule double. If one was to stay in the A or the B ring, which again are the 2 highest ones, if it just hit up there and did not come down, so then it's a double. So it's a little funky.
And I want to say, Cap, that Trace Thompson, the brother Clay, hit one and it stayed up. It was Trace when the Dodgers were in town.
So there's 4 rings, and the highest one is A, and then it works its way down B, C, and D.
And we will give a quiz when the game is over, because I didn't understand any of that myself, but I got the book and I can look at it just like you did.
We did the best we could. Valencia's hit the C ring, and that means it's a home run. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Odorizzi. SN California is brought to you by PG&E. Together building a better California. Nice weather here in St. Petersburg. He's leading 4-2. Rich Hill struggled in the first 2 innings, but had a nice 3-up, 3-down. Or struggled in the first inning, I should say. Had a nice 3-up, 3-down second inning. Had a chance to get Longoria. The throw is wide, but Alonso puts the tag on Longoria, 1 out.
Yeah, we saw Alonso playing third base in Boston a couple of games when Danny Valencia was not able to play, but what he does at first base is unbelievable. And able to handle this throw offline, and he's so good at first base, Alonso is, that he helps so many of the guys on the left side of the infield, especially with the throws, the long throws, and Valencia had to make that one that was up the line, but just very calmly handled it and tagged out Longoria.
That's a good sharp breaking ball that time. First strike. Pierce had an RBI single. Line one toward right center that knocked in the first run.
And the same curveball he hit to right center, although up, that he went very well to right center. The first 2 pitches at this at bat, curveballs and very good ones. Another curveball. He wants it down in the dirt.
Hit hard. Valencia stays with it. Valencia's throw is in time. So 6 in a row retired by Rich Hill. Rich Hill among the leaders. Some pretty good pitchers out there. Strikeouts in the American League.
A former Ray Price leads it. Archer, Array, Smiley Array with Salazar, hard throwing Cleveland Indian, and Rich Hill right there.
David Price on that list, former Ray. Drew Smiley, current Ray on that list. We will not see Smiley in this series. Curve for a strike. Souza hit a little jam shot that dropped right over Alonso's head toward the first base line for an RBI single in the first.
See, Rich Hill throws such a good curveball. If you're a hitter, and you might be thinking curveball, and that's why his fastball, Rich Hill's fastball, which is not really overpowering as far as velocity, but it seems like it's so much thrown so much harder because of the great curveball on the fastball outside.
Good pitch. Strike 3 called. Souza knew it. So 7 in a row retired by Rich Hill, and he is settling in, and we're headed to the 4th. It's 4-2. One of the Western Conference Finals is on NBC Sports Network. After the game, coverage continues with Sharks Playoff Central on CSN California. Don't miss a moment of NBC Sports Network and CSN. Man, is the Bay Area just hot right now or what, Ray?
Yeah, it's
Sharks,
exciting.
Western Conference Finals. Warriors, Western Conference Finals. Good stuff.
Odorizzi, 83 pitches.
Tampa Bay Lightning. They're playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. That is starting tonight, so that's big news in this part of the country. The Sharks and the St. Louis Blues. And you know what, Ray? They just don't like each other. Those two teams. So it should be a fun week this week with both the Sharks and the Warriors opening up their big series, the conference finals. 0-2 pitch to Alonso, hit foul. Odorizzi had a 3-up, 3-down third inning, but as Ray mentioned, a lot of pitches now at 85. I wish I had the foul ball count. It's got to be like, it's got to be 25.
I only count them with 2 strikes, and in the first inning alone there were 14.
Okay, so
and that's 10 with Billy Burns, and then 2 in the second, and then 2 here, or 3 in the second.
Went upstairs with a fastball that time and gets his second strikeout. Odorizzi's had a lot of success in this ballpark. Lowest home ERA in the American League since 2014. Odorizzi at 2.50.
Dallas Keuchel was what, 15-0 last year in his home park, and that's been the disappointing thing for the Astros and Keuchel, that this year he has not had as much success.
Odorizzi pitched well last year.
Well, tonight he might be hoping for a no decision, because gave up 4 in the first inning. His club scored him 2, but zeros after that.
There's a shot to left. Does it have enough? That baby's gone. 5-2 A's. Number 9 for Marcus Semien.
It's like Chris Davis tied him at 8, and then Marcus comes up with number 9 with a bullet to left field on a fastball. So Marcus Semien, you're right. Did it have enough to get up? It did. Fastball, inner half of the plate. And just another nice, easy swing. Slider to right field for a base hit. And Marcus Semien unloaded on a fastball and gets a home run just over the left field wall. That's a good swing.
And Chris Davis tied Marcus Semien for the home run lead for 2 innings.
Yeah.
Marcus grabs it back. Trying to get to Trevor Story. That's most home runs by shortstops in the major leagues.
There's a gift. And talking about Trace Thompson playing with the Dodgers now with the White Sox. Of course, he and Marcus were good friends playing in the organization. Of course, Trace with the Warriors that we know about him. But it's amazing how much Trace talks about his brother. Klay Thompson talks about his brother Trace, about his hitting. And I'm sure Trace is talking about Klay quite a bit too with the NBA championship. But Chris Bassett and Marcus Semien and the Thompson brothers, all friends.
Two and two to Coco Crisp. Coco is grounded out and hit a fly ball to center field. So the A's with a 5-2 lead here in the top of the fourth. Down the infield near Brad Miller with the shift on. Miller right near the bag. He's got it. So Coco retired. 2 away for Burns. Burns a single and a run scored, and then reached on a fielder's choice.
Well, once again, we had to be corrected by the in-house PA to announce who caught the ball on the shift. Never ever heard that before, but now actually whoever's making the announcement in the press box has to be on his toes to find out who's playing where.
Gotta be ready. Line foul. So 0-2 to Burns. Who shifts the most? That's what we want to know. The Rays are fourth. The Astros lead by a huge margin, and that was in all of baseball. Longoria backs up. He grabs it, side retired. Marcus Semien with home run number 9 on the year. A line drive into the seats in left. And the A's now lead 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the fourth.
The best suite at the Coliseum. Check out the A's President Suite located right above the first base bag. This suite includes an extensive high-end food package, beer and wine, VIP parking, and more. Availability is limited for this popular experience, so book your President Suite today by calling 510-638-GO-A's or by visiting athletics.com/president. You know what? We probably should have this President Suite for your birthday. What do you think? You got all the
Actually,
food.
we've decided it's not going to be my birthday.
Oh, it's not? Oh, we've been promoting it so much that you've been fooling us?
Mm-hmm. See, that's the suite we want, and it looks to be available. Looks to be available. I think it's got a little log cabin look to it.
That's right.
0-2.
We might look back at this game if the A's can hang on to win. Two very important parts of the game. This one's number one. First and third, one out. Brad Miller decides to bunt, shockingly. Stephen Vogt threw to second, got a force out. But also the curveball that he threw to Casale in the second inning. 3-2 curveball is a strike, and ever since then, he has doing the curveball. And Rich Hill needs to throw his curveball to make it effective. And once he gets locked in, as we have seen with the number of strikeouts, it is an outstanding pitch for him.
That one spun out of his hand a little bit.
Well, they wanted it down and away, and it stayed near the head, almost the bat of Miller.
Beckham to follow, and then Kiermaier in the fourth inning. Curveball there. It's got to be tough, Ray, against somebody like Rich Hill, where, I mean, normally as a hitter, you're going to say, I'm going to look for the fastball. But you wonder if almost against Rich Hill, do you look for the breaking ball?
I think you do, to the point that Souza in the last inning did and struck out on 2 fastballs. Back to back down the middle.
And that time he dropped down from the side with a fastball. So you show the hitter something else.
You know, he's back to the hitter thinking about it. He got a left-hander, and I agree with you about looking fastball. Rich Hill throws a great curveball and a slider. He may go fastball 3 into the lefty. Nope.
Breaking ball. Miller stays with it.
But one thing about a lefty versus a righty, the righty, he can throw it outside backdoor, freeze the hitter. A lot of times he'll get the called strike, as he did at Casale a couple of innings ago. But to the lefties, it's a different angle. He almost has to throw it at the hitter and get it to break as sharply as he does when he throws the right-handers back door.
Same pitch, and again Miller fouls it. May not have been a strike. He may be off the plate, but Miller still trying to cover it. Throw it again.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Oh.
And he got him. That one well out of the strike zone, and Miller chased it. 3 strikeouts for Hill. I remember his opening night start. He just wasn't sharp. Did not last long. Got late notice that he was starting. So you can't disregard that one from a statistical standpoint. But since then, his ERA is 2.06.
You know, pitchers, they pitch every 5th day. With the regular schedule, off days, it changes. But you can imagine getting a call at 12:30 before 7 o'clock game and say you're the starting pitcher. And I'm surprised Rich Hill did as well as he did, considering, but he did not last long. But it kind of backed up everything. Bassett pitched game 2, and then Sonny finally pitched game 3. But just the mental preparation for these guys, knowing they pitch every 5th day, they start. As soon as this game is over, Rich Hill start thinking about his next start. So to get the call on the same day, and I agree with you, statistically you have to think about it, but since then he's been outstanding.
Sonny Gray relaxing. 1-1 to Tim Beckham. Another curve and another swing and a miss. 1-2. 8 in a row retired by Rich Hill.
Well, a little bit slower curveball this time. Beckham lifting the leg just out in front. Never got the big sweeping breaking ball that was not even close to being a strike, but the fact that Rich threw the slider, the curveball after dropping down, throwing a fastball that missed, dropped down again, but a breaking ball, and now curveball this guy and the fastball down the middle.
And he threw it by him. 3 straight strikeouts for Rich Hill.
Well, mixing them nicely, and you start thinking, and you start thinking curveball and slider from Rich Hill, and you get a fastball, you're saying, how did I miss it? Well, you're swinging late because you're thinking off speed. And that's why most hitters will say you can't look for off speed and be able to catch up to a fastball, but it seems like the hitters of the Rays tonight are doing exactly that.
Highest in zone whiff percentage.
Huh?
Whiff percentage. Pitches in the zone, swung and miss. So that's interesting.
So what's all the talk about David Price? We showed strikeouts and whiff percentage, and he's the top of both lists.
Yeah.
And all they were talking about in Boston is how horrible he is. He won last night. 12 strikeouts last night.
Unless you're 162-0 in Boston.
That's a good point.
The team is just underachieved.
Well, and maybe Dustin Pedroia, his new pitching coach playing second, worked out for him because he corrected his flaw.
2-1 to Kevin Kiermaier, who grounded out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Strike, and now it's 2-2.
And with Odorizzi approaching 100 pitches, looks like Evelyn is warming again to come in for the 5th inning. Good sweeping breaking ball that caught a lot of the plate. Got the call from Brian Gorman.
Toward left, Coco comes in. He's got it. And that is 10 in a row retired by Rich Hill. We're through 4. It's 5-2. A's lead the Rays.
Bobblehead with spinning action is presented by Comerica Bank on Saturday, May the 28th. 15,000 fans will walk away with a replica of one of the Gold Glover's signature catches. It is spinning. He's made some good catches. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets, or you can call 877-493-BALL.
Coming up.
96
Reddick will lead
pitches.
things off.
96 for Odorizzi.
96.
42 in the first.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. So Reddick will face the new pitcher, Dana Eveland. So Dana Eveland comes in, pitching out of the Rays bullpen. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, looking at Odorizzi's numbers his season, he'd only given up a total of 3 home runs. 2 in April, 1 in May. Gave up 3 tonight.
And quickly 0-2.
Now, Eveland, a former starting pitcher with the Athletics, and of course has the assortment of pitches that he can use in the relief role.
He has bounced around a lot. Milwaukee, Arizona, and then a couple years in Oakland. So there's the final numbers for Odorizzi. 4 of those runs coming in the very first inning, and the 3 home runs allowed. Just missed. Dana Eveland was with the A's in 2008. Started 29 games that year. And then in 2009, he was back and forth. And the A's in AAA Sacramento. And a breaking ball on 2-2. Reddick strikes out. So 1 away. So we got to know Dana Eveland, nice kid from Olympia, Washington. And since leaving the A's, he's been with Toronto, Pittsburgh, the Dodgers, the Orioles, the Mets, and last year 10 games with the Braves, and quite a few minor league stops along the way. So he's been up and down.
Fills up his media guy bio, right?
Yes, he does.
He's got it from Arizona. Is that
Yeah.
yeah, let's say the Diamondbacks.
Chris Davis, a 3-run homer and a line out to center. Bounces that one up the middle. That's Beckham, the second baseman, playing right near second base. So we'll go 4-3 on the put out. Maybe a little asterisk next to it.
Well, you remember when Dana Eveland went to the airport, dropped his luggage, went over to get a cup of coffee, and heading to Toronto, and had his car broken into and his passport stolen, and he couldn't be on the flight.
I do.
Had to go to San Francisco, get a quick passport, and take the flight into Toronto.
Don't stop at that coffee shop, because A's have had bad things happen.
Jim Johnson, same thing.
Yeah. 1-0 to Stephen Vogt. 1-1 to Stephen Vogt.
You watch Dana Eveland when he comes up in the set position. They talk about fanning the glove. He doesn't throw a splitter, throws a changeup, but it's a matter of being consistent when he comes in that position, because he shakes his glove almost to the point that he doesn't want to tip his pitch. But if he did that on a certain pitch, then guys would say, you know, watch his glove. Chili Davis might be one of the best at picking up pitches, but as Eveland in this shot, you'll see him start to fan his glove, but he's just doing it every pitch the same, so he's not tipping anything.
Well, he has a pretty good inning. Couple of strikeouts, and he gets the Rays right back into the dugout. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 5-2 Athletics.
Choice. What a job, Rich Hill. After the first inning, his club gave him 4 runs. He gave up 2 in the first inning, but since then he has been a masterful pitcher. Fastball, freezing hitters with fastballs, getting the curveball, big sweeping breaking ball, getting Brian Miller. And since the first inning, when he gave up 2 hits, he's not allowed to hit. Matter of fact, after retiring Kiermaier with the bases loaded in the first, he is not allowed the base runner. So done a great job. 33 in the first inning. Since then, 40, giving him 73 in the night. So Rich Hill upset, I think, would be an understatement. In the first inning, he seemed to be frustrated that certain pitches were not called, but all of a sudden they have been, and he's pitching great again.
Pumps a strike in there to Kurt Casale, the 9th place hitter. Walnut Creek, California is where Kurt Casale was born.
He's Bartable then. Right?
No question. No question. You've been on Bart before.
It's right downtown Walnut Creek. Jump on the BART, go to the Coliseum, watch a little baseball. Have to transfer to Oakland.
That breaking ball in the count is 1-2.
Casale has hit 4 home runs, but his batting average under 200. Hank Conger, they thought, would give a lot more offense. It has not worked out with him either. And actually, they're talking about maybe trying to acquire a catcher in a trade. Jonathan Lucroy's name has surfaced again.
It has not been a good offensive start for the Rays. This is game number 33 for them, and they are 14th out of 15 team in runs scored. They're last in batting average. They have hit home runs. That's really the only thing they've done well this year. 46 home runs. That's 3rd most, but everything else they are very low. Worst on base percentage, worst average with runners in scoring position, 211 as a team. So it has been a struggle. They're striking out a lot. It's just not been a good offensive start for them. Like I said,
well, that's a
you're at 20% into this season.
Yeah.
So Reddick will take care of this one, and he does. In fact, did you see, Ray, where it seems like offense is down a little bit this year?
Well, yeah, in general.
And just we're not talking about runs here. We're talking about batting average, which obviously kind of correlates to runs somewhat. But in the American League, 9 of the 15 teams have a team batting average under 250. 8 in the National League. So that's 17 out of 30 teams in Major League Baseball coming into tonight. Team batting averages under 250.
Well, that's hard to believe. And then you combine,
like I said, right here, 224.
Yeah, you combine that with a bad on-base percentage as a team. You know, you're not getting on base. Brandon Guyer's on-base percentage is off the charts because he's been hit 10 times or 11 times. So that's counting getting on base when that does happen.
The A's are one of those teams. They're at 247, so they're close.
Yeah, those are some numbers, and you hope that by sometimes when it warms up a little bit that those numbers start to rise.
Well, I also read today where the Astros and the Rays, and again, it's still early, but they're on pace to both break the single season strikeout record.
That's not good. When you're not hitting and striking out, that's a bad combination.
Offense, it does seem to be down. One and 2 the count. The Rays trying to hang in there in the AL East. Strike 3 called. Guyer took the fastball on the inside corner. He disagrees with Brian Gorman.
But you watch Guyer. We talked about before this game started about how he kind of dives. When you dive and you get a fastball inside, watch his first move. He's going towards right field. That ball, he's trying to get hit with the left elbow. Watch his left elbow. He sticks it out. He's trying to get hit. The ball's called a strike. So you have to wonder if he is hit in the strike zone. Does Brian Gorman let him go to first? Shouldn't.
No,
because it's a strike.
Plus, quite frankly, if a pitch is called a strike, you should be swinging at it, even if it's close with 2 strikes. Curve tapped foul.
But Rich and Vogt working very well together. They've been the battery for the A's since day one. And I think it's important because you get a certain amount of confidence in a catcher. And Rich Hill believes that when Stephen Vogt calls a curveball 3-2, he's going to, no hesitation, he's going to go right to it. It's fastball away.
Good pitch there, right at the knees. So Rich Hill is just, he's got a rocket fire going right now.
But he wanted it outside, but Vogt caught it perfectly. The frame job was outstanding, kept it in the strike zone, and he got the hitter just flipping the coin. What is it, fastball, curveball? Don't know which one's going to be thrown.
Curve stays up the line. 5 strikeouts now for Rich Hill. 3 walks, all 3 walks in the very first inning. He was able to maneuver his way out of trouble and just give up a couple of runs in the first. Could have been worse.
Well, that curveball missed, and I would think that Jennings is saying he's going to throw me a fastball. He threw him a curveball 3-2 and walked him in the first inning, which was a questionable call, one that Rich thought was strike 3. He's going curveball again, no hesitation.
There it is, and it's tapped foul. I'm still convinced that he has better control with his curveball than he does with his fastball.
I agree, especially the right-handers. Every game against Houston at the Coliseum, he had 5 3-2 counts. He threw curveball every time. Every pitch he hit a batter, and 4 of them were out of the strike zone.
Well, let's see what Vogt puts down. Now he's going to go with a fastball here. Fastball away. And it comes across the plate and missed in, and that did not miss by a lot. In fact, I think the problem there is he missed the target.
Yeah.
But I think that's a strike.
I agree. And if you watch Stephen Vogt, watch how Vogt catches the ball. Turns his glove.
That's a strike.
That is a strike. And you know, he didn't catch it and take it out of the strike zone. He caught it, turned the catcher's mitt properly, and kept it in the zone, but didn't get the call. Just
you
wonder.
can see it came right across the plate.
And I just wonder, Cap, when the game is over, they're supposed to get the disc or the DVD of the game and, you know, see pitches that were strikes and not called, whatever. Just wonder if they watch. What if I ask Eddie Montague? You know, do they actually watch it?
Look at all the curveballs. Yeah. That's not tonight. That's the whole season. 42% curveballs. Well, I don't know. I think that's a very fair question. I don't know that we'll ever know the full answer. I know they should.
They should, because if they're close, and especially tonight when both sides are complaining, something is not right. And guys don't complain unless they feel they have a beef.
And who knows? In this case, both sides have been complaining, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Brian Gorman is wrong. He may look and find out that he actually did a pretty good job.
Well, and remember,
but I mean, not always, but
remember, I've heard that they get credit with a strike zone that includes a baseball outside or inside. Well, that takes a 17-inch plate and makes it very, very big.
That makes no sense to me. There's a strike. Why would this make sense?
I agree. Hey, strike's a strike, you know. It is a 17-inch wide plate, and most pitchers don't like to go to the middle. Sometimes you have to.
Three and 1 the count to Longoria, and now 3-2. So Jennings, he's got a lot of speed. He will be off on the pitch.
There's a big curveball, and Stephen Vogt wants it down. It crosses the plate, a lot of the plate. They can go either side, either way, fastball or curveball.
There's a shot foul out in front of another curveball.
He's got Longoria that time. Looked like he geared up for a fastball. The curveball stayed up, and he's able to at least foul it. Most hitters are going to sit fastball.
Another 3-2. Curveball has popped up in front of the Rays dugout, and it'll bounce 3 rows back. Well, the Rays may be looking for a catcher. They had one. You're looking at him.
That's right. Played the outfield, but he's turned out to be a good one with the A's. You're right. Curveball. See how it is to Longoria.
And he taps the foul again.
Also has Benji Molina. Benji Molina.
Huh?
And Benji Molina's a catcher too. Hit an inside or hit a triple, and figure Benji. No, Jose Molina, not Ben. Benji's a brother. Yadier, the other brother. Benji was the Giants and the Rangers, but Jose Molina is who I was thinking of. Thank you, Blair.
Another 3-2, another curveball, and it's lined down the left field line fair. Jennings was running on the play. Coco has some trouble with it out by the wall and left. Jennings will score easily, and Longoria has a 2-out RBI double, and it's 5-3.
Well, I stay with the curveball and curveball after curveball, and finally left one up enough that Longoria didn't foul this one, as a lot of them have been fouled down the left field line. This one in fair, and Jennings, who came in hitting a .163, has walked twice tonight, and he scored twice. Longoria also walked and scored, so there's another hit with a runner in scoring position. That's actually 3, 2 in the first, 1 in this inning.
So Rich Hill take a little walk as he faces Steve Pearce.
Retired 12 in a row. He walks a batter and then gives up a hit.
So Pearce with the RBI hit in the first, and then a ground out in the third.
Well, a big out right here to try to get back in the dugout after 5 innings.
Fastball right there, first strike. Rodriguez warming up for the A's. Bullpens are in play here down each line. Another fastball, and it's 0-2. Pearce is probably thinking, you know what? I just watched Longoria get 6 straight curveballs. I'm thinking he's going to throw me more curveballs, and he throws me 2 straight fastballs. Another fastball strike 3 call. Unbelievable. So a run for the Rays on Longoria's RBI hit. 6th inning coming up. 5-3. A's lead the Rays. top of the 6th inning. It'll be Valencia, Coghlan, and Alonso. Dana Evelyn, who had a very nice 5th inning. A couple of strikeouts. And first pitch slider in for a strike. Valencia homered in the 1st, hit a fly ball to right in the 3rd.
Really a lot of similarities between Dana Evelyn and Rich Hill as far as lefty throwing a lot of breaking pitches with confidence, both to right-handers.
Valencia drives that one to right. Souza's going back. He's near the wall, and that baby's gone. Valencia goes the other way this time. His 2nd home run tonight, and the A's get that run right back.
Ball carrying very nicely, unbelievably, as a matter of fact. So welcome back, Valencia. 3rd career 2-homer game, multi-homer game, and to go to right field, that's really doing something here. The power with Danny Valencia showed that in spring training, how much he hit the ball in the opposite field with power. And this one, he goes to right field, gives him his 2nd in this game, 2nd of the season.
So it's great to see Valencia starting to swing the bat. 4 home runs in the game by the Athletics. They now have 37 on the year as a team. One 1-0 to Coghlan. Danny Valencia grew up in the Miami area, so he's a Florida guy. It's the weather, man.
Right? Yeah, indoors.
Coghlan has grounded out and struck out.
It's good to see the A's hit some home runs, score some runs again in a game. Hit 4 home runs at Yankee Stadium against New York. Last long road trip.
Delivery is driven in the air toward Kiermaier, who comes in. This was Rich Hill at the end of the inning. He was not happy, and he was mad about the missed call on Doug Jennings that out of the walk, and then Longoria got the hit.
Well, I think you go back even to the 1st inning, Kike, when he was frustrated with some of the curveballs, and it's kind of carried over, although he had a nice stretch. Club scoring some runs and gave up a run, but Valencia came right back and got it back.
There's the swing from Yonder Alonso that we saw so much of in Boston as he lines one to left field. So 2 hits for Yonder Alonso.
See, he has a little toe tap. He strides and gets still at the front side, and then takes the ball that's up a little bit and goes the opposite field.
Hit the ball the other way. He's always been that way as a hitter. Simeon steps in. He's got a single and a home run. Fastball away, and now it's 2-0. So 9 home runs now for Marcus Simeon. 2nd most by shortstop in the big leagues. Line drive got over the wall and left.
5 in April, 4 now in May, and just at the 13th, and just a solid hit. And you know, maybe the fact he did the slider so well in his first at bat to right field from Odorizzi, decided to go with a fastball, slider, base hit right field, fastball, home run left field.
Simeon's aboard for the 3rd time. Nine home runs, all out of the 9th spot. Ties Oakland season record. There's been a handful of times where he's hit 8th,
Moved up in the lineup a little, not much.
Leave him there. It looks like Rich Hill's going to get to go out for the 6th inning, which should make him happy.
Misses inside to Coco Crisp, who swings around to hit from the right side. Steve Geltz starts to throw. Evelyn not nearly as sharp this inning as he was last inning. Coco off his foot. Astros and the Red Sox are tied 5-5 in the 5th inning. There's the numbers for Rich Hill so far.
Still pacing, isn't he?
Sitting at 102 pitches. Curve stays outside. McCullers started that game for the Astros, so he's off the disabled list. Right, the knuckleballer started for the Red Sox. Boston has won 5 in a row. They won last night 11-1. But tonight 5-5, bottom of the 5th at Fenway.
Well, they probably feel they have another half dozen runs in them.
And they probably do. Actually, the Red Sox had a 5-1 lead in that game, but Astros scored 4 in the 5th to tie it. Alonso at second, Simeon at first. Shift is on for Coco Crisp. Boxes that one foul. Angels and the Mariners will play later on in Seattle, first of a 3-game series. Two teams headed in opposite directions. Angels have lost 6 in a row. Mariners have won 8 out of their last 10. And the Mariners are 21-13. They have the first place to themselves in the West. Runners go, swing and a miss, throw to third, not in time. Coco strikes out, but the A's pull off the double steal.
Well, it's all on Dana Evelyn because Alonso from second got a big jump, feet first slide, got the foot in, no pop-up slide, and we've talked about this. Casale throwing to third, and watch the slide by Alonso, the foot going straight into the bag. It did not pop up and come over the bag. It's very close, but just imagine that front foot. If it had popped up, Longoria must have thought he got him because he didn't hold the tag, which we're seeing infielders do that just in case the runner slides over. But good jump by Alonso, followed by Simeon from first to second.
Billy Burns. Nice play by Beckham as he was playing a shallow second base. He backhands it and throws Burns out. And the A's strand a pair, but they get another home run. Danny Valencia goes the other way. He's got a 2-homer game, and we're going to the bottom of the 6th. And the A's now lead it 6-3. times, and they lead 6-3.
Hey, Brian, you and I are buddies.
You know what?
What's
you
your
did the right
address?
thing.
Yeah,
Rich Hill.
That's right. You know, if you think the umpire thinks you're yelling at him, you go out and you say, hey, Mr. Gorman, Mr. Blue, you're a good man. You're doing a good job. I was frustrated. Was never yelling at you.
It doesn't mean that you have to always be truthful with the umpire.
That's right. Just make them feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get a smile. Got a smile from Brian Gorman. So you know that was a good conversation. Now, Jamie Moyer had a great career. You know what Jamie did every time he left the mound and was taken out? He looked at the umpire and said, great job. He did a great job. The umpire thought about that his whole life, what Jamie Moyer said to him.
Souza is going to head for second, and Souza runs extremely well for a big man, and he's got a leadoff double here in the 6th. So 2 hits for Steven Souza. The Rays,
Fernando warming up.
waiting for this guy to kind of put it all together.
Yeah. Inside out swing. He got the fastball and might have been looking breaking ball because he swung late, but it worked out well. Slicing down on the corner, and Josh Reddick had to go to the slide, which he did it well. But it kept him to a double. And maybe if Reddick doesn't come up with it, Souza's able to get to third. And it also helps to look at your third base coach.
Miller taps one slowly towards second. Coughlin will throw him out. Souza does get over to third. So maybe not what Miller wanted, but a productive out nonetheless. Rodriguez is loosening again, so he's ready. So Rich Hill at 105 pitches. His season high is 106. He's done that 3 times. And the first inning got him big time, 33. So here's Tim Beckham. Beckham, a right-handed hitter, has walked and he has struck out. First pitch, a fastball right there for a strike.
And the strikeout is what Stephen Vogt was talking to Rich Hill about. He said, you get this strikeout, the infield's going to play back. Try to get out of this inning without giving up another run.
And another fastball, and he took it again. 0-2.
Well, I think your description of Pierce is 3 fastballs, boom, 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 and struck him out in last inning.
So maybe I was wrong. Maybe you shouldn't just sit up there and look for a curveball.
Well, he's thrown enough that they would throw or look. He better look now. He might get one. No, he
threw it by him. How about that? 3 straight fastballs. He took 2. Swings through the third one, and Hill gets a huge strikeout.
And this is simply a matter of a pitcher who comes in with a reputation of throwing a lot of curveballs, and then he throws nothing but fastballs, and he's done it twice. Pierce last inning, big strikeout in this inning with Beckham runner third infield back, and he gets the strikeout, and now trying to get the final out of the inning in Kiermaier, and if he can do that, turn it over to the bullpen. 6 straight innings.
You know what, though, Ray? You watch somebody like Beckham. He's trying to establish himself as a big leaguer. Has not had a huge amount of success. How about cutting down your swing with 2 strikes and a guy at third?
Exactly. Knowing all you have to do is put the ball in play.
Put it in play.
Put it in play. You're going to score a run, and that's a big run. And you know that's one of the things. And again, you see all the numbers coming in, and we're talking to Brian Anderson and Dwayne Stats, and they said those are the situations been killing that they get a runner at third, and they don't do that. They just have big swings, and Souza getting down the line, and Rich Hill with his back to him had to step off, and not a bad idea. Hear somebody yell he's walking down the line, so instead of panicking and hurrying and maybe balk, just step off, take your time.
And now 1-2. Thing with Kiermaier is he's very fast. Yeah. So if there's a ball on the ground, boy, you really have to. You gotta hurry.
Sidearm breaking ball upstairs, and he wasn't thinking ground ball single. I don't think. I think he's trying to think 2-run home run.
And that one's hit in the air, but playable for Reddick. So Rich Hill's going to get out of it. And nicely done as the runner is stranded at third. 7th inning coming up, and the A's hanging on to a 6-3 lead.
One of your favorite 70s classics on Grease movie Fireworks Night, Kipe's birthday, presented by Xfinity. Friday, May 20th, 1 week from today, which is game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees. After the game, fans can watch a fireworks show, all presented by Glenn Kuiper. From the outfield grass, as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. And we all know that at the Coliseum, the best fireworks that you will ever see, that happens to be a great one with Grease and Kipe's birthday and all the good things. Rich Hill, outstanding performance. 7 strikeouts, and he was pumped coming off the mound after getting the foul out. Of course, the strikeout, but he was pumped as he was pumping the fists. Great job.
So the new pitcher is Steve Geltz. Missing Reddick, Davis, and Vogt. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Geltz, the 28-year-old right-hander, 5'10", 210-pounder. From Newfane, New York. Pitched in 70 games last year. And he's trying to figure out where the strikes are. That pitcher's clearly a strike.
Wow.
Reddick says thank you, 2-1. And now 3-0.
Geltz gave up the walk-off to Inetta in Seattle, the very hot Seattle Mariners. I would say just completed road trip, Wednesday's game.
So now full count. Reddick so far in tonight's ball game singled and scored in the first.
Look at Rich, yeah. Bullpen can hang on, get the next 9 outs. He's got a chance to improve to 5-3, and another win on the road. The A's would love it as a team to end their 5-game losing streak.
Driven toward left center field. Jennings showing off his good range, and Jennings has it. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
Well, the ball slicing back, then there's a lot of speed in the outfield for the Rays. Kiermaier backing him up. This is one place hit line drives, because he hit in the air. Speed in the outfield, they have a chance, except for the 4 that left the yard tonight. Won by Chris Davis, big 3-run home run in the first.
Davis takes a fastball first try. Jays and the Rangers are scoreless in the 5th inning in Arlington. Dickey and Perez the matchup there. It's a first of a 3-game set. A couple of good teams doing battle. Rangers have won 5 out of 6. Rangers made a bunch of changes today. They signed Kyle Loesch. So were they? Well, Kyle Loesch signed. AJ Griffin's been on the disabled list, so they added a extra starter. They should get Darvish back at some point soon. Kyle Loesch now at Rangers. They also sent down Delino DeShields, which I was a bit surprised. I didn't realize he was struggling that much, but he was hitting just a little over 200.
What's wrong with that?
So he's down. Chu is on the disabled list. He's supposed to come back fairly soon. 0-2 to Davis. Davis hits one high in the air toward the seats. The Rangers also made an interesting move today. They brought up Matt Bush, a right-handed relief pitcher. Matt Bush in 2004 was the first overall pick in the draft, and he was a shortstop, and the Padres picked him. The young man got in quite a bit of trouble.
Yes, he did.
8 months ago at this time, he was in prison. Got himself in a bunch of trouble, but he's out, and he became a pitcher. As Chris Davis swings and misses. But Davis now 1 for 4, but that one hit, a big one, a 3-run homer.
Oh, right down the middle, foul tip into the catcher's mitt. Off speed by Geltz, and Davis a little bit out in front.
2 outs for Folk. But the young man, Matt Bush, and he's really not young anymore. He's 30 years old. He became a pitcher. And he's got a terrific arm, and he's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour in Double-A, and he's been lights out, and they called him up. So we'll see how that works out.
Actually, we'll see the Rangers at the Coliseum next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
So first time seeing the team in their own division. They will have seen a whole bunch of teams from the East, and bullpen in play. So where's Scotty when you need him? They scattered. That young man protecting those starting those relief pitchers probably said, "You guys make a lot more than I do, and I'm going to get out of here."
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And don't yell at me either.
I wouldn't apologize.
Yeah. You know what? I'd be like, you guys are professional athletes. Just, you can move.
They just give me a glove and a double flap compliment and say,
"You get $50 a game." Geltz with a good inning. So 7th inning stretch time from Tropicana Field. 6-3 A's.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Hey, we make sure you know it all with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, CSN Bay Area.
The Warriors are getting set for their Game 1 matchup in the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder. Game 1 will be Monday at Oracle. And the Sharks, they're getting set for the St. Louis Blues. Their Game 1 will be Sunday in St. Louis. And we'll have the Raiders rookie report. Matt Freed and Dave Feldman will host. So again, the Warriors are Monday at Oracle. The Sharks, their series will start on Sunday in St. Louis. So Curt Casali leading it off, and he's going to do it against Fernando Rodriguez. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 15th appearance for Fernando Rodriguez. He's 1-0 with a good ERA. More strikeouts than innings pitched. In fact, he add up his hits and strikeouts, and it's still less than his innings pitched. You do not see that very often at the big league level. So a good season so far for Rodriguez.
Well, the A's need to see the bullpen they saw at the beginning of the season, and not the game they saw in Oakland against the Mariners. So starting pitcher goes 6, something they have not seen in the last 4 starts. So they got it working, scored some runs, 6 runs so far. 6 innings from their starting pitcher Rich Hill, trying to end a 5-game losing streak.
And Casali won around 2-2.
It's called by Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire. Made him put up his left hand, indicating a swing. Stephen Vogt said, how about an appeal? Brian Gorman took it himself.
That one spins Casali out of the way. So full count.
Just left it up a little bit, tried to cut it, and continue to ride up and in on the right-hander.
Payoff delivery, here it is, and he walked it. Now that's the 9th place hitter, and that's a leadoff walk. So 5 walks now by A's pitchers. Of course, the first 4 by Rich Hill.
Well, sadly,
and now you get the top of the order.
Yeah, 3 runs scored by the Rays have come via the walk. Desmond Jennings twice. He's walked and scored. I think Bob Melvin's going to deplete the bullpen tonight to try to get the 9 outs, and it's more activity for the A's. Sean Doolittle, lefty, starts to get loose.
Geyer had a good swing, fouls it straight back.
Well, Sean Doolittle said he's got it back, and he's throwing like he does have it back, and that's the mid to upper 90s fastball.
Geyer off the backstop, and it's 0-2. Geyer has grounded out twice, and he has struck out.
That's to Derek Shelton, the hitting coach of the Rays, and I said, tell me about Geyer. How come he's been hit so many? He said of the times he's been hit, there's only one. There's the veteran hitting coach, Shelton, but he said one time he's actually felt it and grimaced. Other times he just takes one for the team, kind of turns into it, as we mentioned earlier. Certain pitchers, when you're throwing mid to upper 90s, you don't want to turn into it. You don't want to take one for the team that way. But if you're accustomed to getting hit and you can take it, you do it, especially with a couple of strikes.
That one was inside. Rolls it foul. Geyer was originally a Cub when he came to the Rays off-season 2011, and a big trade, and it ended up it was Matt Garza was the guy that the Cubs wanted.
That's right.
And they got him, but the Cubs had to give up Chris Archer. And the Rays said, we'll take him. Archer was just a minor league pitcher at the time, and Geyer was one of the other guys. Sam Fuld was one of the guys that went from the Cubs to the Rays.
And the Cubs may never lose again. former Rays manager Joe Madden, now the skipper for the Cubbies, and they went to postseason last year and off to a tremendous start this year.
They won today, right? Yeah, 9-4. They're 26-8 on the Cubbies. Geyer swings and misses. Fastball, inner half at 95 miles an hour.
Well, a nice little visit by Stephen Vogt after what seemed like Fernando Rodriguez overthrowing the fastball, and this time just nice, easy fastball from the right-hander, and he can throw it mid-90s without much effort. And Stephen Vogt is very good. You know, there are times that a catcher needs to talk to a pitcher, and Stephen Vogt is very good about that. Just don't let it keep running and going. Ball one, ball two. You go out, maybe find something, slow him down. Stephen Vogt is one of the best at doing that.
Jennings hits one high and foul. Jennings has walked twice and grounded out, and he has scored twice. He's in a very difficult slump. He's now 1 for 36.
He's got to be happy tonight, though. He's walked twice, scored twice. So.
Get it going. See, Vogt was set up inside and Vogt just cut across the plate. Jennings swung through it, and it's 0-2.
This is a natural cutter. This was not an intended cutter. Just the way he threw it just ran on Stephen Vogt. Not able to handle it easily with the location way off.
Fastball is high. White Sox leading the Yankees 7-1, bottom of the 8th. Chris Sale is pitching that game for Chicago. So he's got a pretty decent chance to go to 8-0 to start this season.
He may be the Ubaldo Jimenez of 2016 season, 15-0 or something at the break.
Chris Sale rolling along. He's still in that game at Yankee Stadium. White Sox are 23-12. They have a 5-game lead in the division. Setting up inside. It's low, so full count. Longoria to follow here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And you don't want him coming up either. That's why Jennings, who has already walked twice, you do not want to put him on, make him earn his way instead of having Longoria coming up as a potential tying run.
And he missed inside and he walked it. Jennings walks for the 3rd time.
And one of the problems with the walks, it's not like they're close enough that you can get a swing. Kurt Young's got a visit with his right-hander, but you know, it's one thing if you get it close, check swing, you might walk, but you get a guy who's been struggling like Jennings, not even getting close enough to where he can make an attempt and might swing at a bad pitch.
And Doolittle is probably ready down there. He's been warming up for a while. Pierce to follow. Pierce is a right-handed hitter. After Pierce, it's Souza. Souza's a right-handed hitter. And certainly hoping it doesn't get that far, but
well, Logan Morrison is the other first baseman. He's a left-handed hitter, formerly with the Mariners, but he has been struggling so much. And I don't know if Doolittle's warming up in case they would pinch hit for Pierce if it gets to him. Way Pierce can swing back. There's Lomo, as they call him, Logan Morrison.
And a hanger, and Longoria took it, and it was a strike. Big 2-out RBI double for Longoria in the 5th. He walked and scored in the 1st. 6 home runs, 18 RBIs for Longoria.
Remember how his front foot was extremely open and then he would close. Kind of changed it
a little bit.
Yeah, to where he's more just straight, not as much movement getting to the ball.
High and foul.
Franchise player Evan Longoria. stance. There it is, and just kind of go straight at it. And before he was exaggerated open and then bring the front foot towards the plate, but that's just a slightly open stance now.
And he struck him out, threw it right by him. So Longoria strikes out. A's pitchers with 9 strikeouts tonight.
And you kind of quick pitched him, a little slide step quick pitch a little bit, and went right after him with a high fastball, and Stephen Vogt moved last instant, and great location on the pitch away. And that is a good location.
So now with 2 on 2 out, here's Pierce. And a fastball a little outside. As Ray mentioned earlier, James Loney was let go by the Rays. And he's making over $9 million this year in the final year of a contract, and they let him go. I was a little surprised by that, I guess.
Well, I understand. I guess he signed a minor league contract with the Padres. But the salary paid by the Rays.
He's getting it. Popped up. So Rodriguez should get out of this inning. Coughlin and Simeon coming together, and Simeon has it. Side retired. So a couple of runners stranded. Time to move to the 8th inning, and the A's are leading 6-3. A's baseball on CSN California is brought to you by Clipper. For work, play, and all points between, use Clipper instead of cash to pay for transit. Central Street, Central Avenue, right downtown St. Petersburg. And those gentlemen are just relaxing. Watching the A's with a 6-3 lead. Top of the 8th inning with Danny Valencia. He's got a chance for a 3-homer game.
Going for it.
He was thinking about it. He homered in the 1st to left. He homered in the 6th to right. So after sitting out Tuesday and Wednesday with a tight hamstring and then an off day yesterday, Valencia has had a good night. First 2 home runs of the year. So a quick 0-2 from Steve Geltz, 3rd pitcher of the night. And that one's driven to right, hit on the nose. Souza's back in front of the wall, and he makes the catch. So Valencia hit that ball right on the nose. It's a good sign when a guy like Valencia starts driving the ball the other way.
He's got the leg kick and good fastball. He puts a lot behind it, even with a couple of strikes. And one that he pulled to left field. This one, high fastball again, almost got it out if he got any elevation. Good swing, fortunate out. So really 3 of his fly balls, 2 outs to right field, 1 home run to right field.
So 1 out. Coghlan will hit. He's 0 for 3. A's have 9 hits in the game. They've stranded 5 through 7 innings. Saw some interesting stuff, Ray, on Max Scherzer's performance on Wednesday. The 20 strikeout performance. 9-inning game. 5th time that's been done. And they were comparing it to other individual baseball feats. 5 times it's been done.
That's right. And how many no-hitters?
So you think about that, right? You're like, wow, that's pretty good, right? There have been 23 perfect games.
That's right.
There have been 295 no-hitters in Major League history. Wow. 20 strikeouts in a game, 5 times.
Twice by Roger Clemens.
Yeah. So, well, I guess the point is you think about, well, yeah, that's pretty awesome, 20 strikeouts, but maybe you need to step back and think that was one of the greatest pitching performances ever.
That's right. Yeah. That's a great point.
I mean, it is.
27 outs, you got 20 of them with a strikeout.
Exactly.
That meant only 7 balls put in play that your fielders had to field.
There have been a 4-homer game by an individual 16 times in Major League history. So that's been done 3 times more than 20 strikeouts in a game. That's how special his performance was.
Was it only he and Randy Johnson to strike out 20 and pitch a no-hitter? I think those Randy did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
I think sounds about right. Yeah.
Because I don't think Clemens ever did. He must not. 7-time Cy Young Award winner though.
But 23 perfect games.
That's amazing. If you think
he
about
did 5
times.
Coghlan strikes out. Geltz has retired all 5 hitters he has faced.
He's got a good fastball, nailed the outside corner with it. But you know, I think of Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak and Ted Williams, 1941, both occurring, 406, and a 56-game hitting streak. Same year. And there may be 2 that will never happen again.
Sure.
Because if in order to hit 400, Ted Williams probably faced the same pitcher. How many games to hit 400 in this 41 season?
I think it'd be a lot harder to hit 400
because of the specialist. Because you have a starter go 6, and you may see a reliever at least once, maybe twice.
Yep.
And so your hitting streak, you have to do it against multiple pitchers.
And I think, and this is not a criticism of that era, but the relievers in the 1940s were your worst pitchers. Well, now, I think you could make the point, some teams, your setup man and your closer are maybe 2 of your 3 or 4 best pitchers.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to get the bullpens now.
No,
and really, there weren't a lot of relief pitchers then.
But even in the 70s, Ray, when you were playing, there were closers and they were very good closers, but
3 innings.
Yeah, but how many dominant setup men were there? Not very many. Well, now, if you're a good team, you probably have a dominant setup.
Yeah, oh, definitely. You have to have one, because if a starter like Rich Hill goes 6 tonight, pitched a great game, but he's out after 6 because of 112 pitches.
Right on the corner, 2-2.
But I still marvel at the fact that in '74, in winning the World Series in 5 games, the A's only used 5 pitchers in a 5-game World Series. But that's again 4-man rotation. You got guys pitching deep in ball games, or a reliever. In the case of Goose Gossett, Raleigh Fingers, Bruce Sutter, guys pitching multiple innings to save a game.
Another hit for Alonso, 3 for 4.
And another hit up the middle. Left field the last time, left field the first time, so 3 hits, all going up the middle of the opposite field. That is a great job, especially with a couple of strikes. Fastball away, goes back up the middle with it. You try to pull that pitch, it's a rollover, ground out, or a pop-up. Instead, a line drive up the middle. He's got his average increasing, came into the game at 219.
Now Marcus Semien will step in. He has yet to be retired. Singled in the 2nd, homered in the 4th, walked in the 6th. So the home run, 9th of the year for Semien. Slider is low. Doolittle is still out in the bullpen, so it looks like he will pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. A little bit in on the hands of Semien.
We always like to look at the bottom part of the batting order. Is Webb, the right-hander. If you look at Alonso with 3 hits and Semien with a couple of hits and a walk and a home run. So the production at the bottom and then turning it over. So that's a good lineup if you can get production all the way through 1 through 9. And the Red Sox definitely doing that, as we just saw in 3 games.
Short lead for Alonso at first. High to left. Watch out on the catwalk. Jennings has it. Side retired. A hit and a runner left. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It'll be Souza, Miller, and Beckham. See if Doolittle's coming in. Toyota dealers. 6-10-1 for the A's, 3-4-0 for the Rays. Rich Hill had a chance to get his 5th win. Went 6 innings. Had a tough first inning, but then settled in nicely. A 2-homer game for Danny Valencia. 3rd time he has done that. Semien has also homered, and so has Chris Davis. Odorizzi knocked out after 4 innings. So the A's trying to break their 5-game losing streak. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So Sean Doolittle will take the 8th inning as he faces Souza, Miller, and Beckham. Rodriguez goes 1 inning and a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts. Tyler Ladendorf is now the 2nd baseman for the A's, so Coughlin is out.
Ladendorf back with the ball club and getting a chance to play at different positions, infield and outfield. And amazing thing about turning the double play, he gets a ball, he turns it quickly with a strong arm. Now playing on the outfield grass or the outfield turf a little bit.
Quick 0-2 to Steven Souza, who is 1 for 2.
Stephen Vogt, we can't go a game without one off the mask or some part of the body, and he takes it just like a piece of cake. Not a big deal.
3 pitches. See you later.
Oh, motor moved up right at the last instant, right up the ladder. And I think one of the most impossible pitches to hit is a fastball up with his only good vote. And that's where the location is. And there's absolutely no chance for Souza to make any contact. The ball just starts to go to the middle and then right upstairs. And well, Souza got to look at every time.
Here's Miller, lefty on lefty. Fastball is just a little off the plate. Miller looking for his first hit. Just 4 hits for the Rays. Doolittle pumping the heater in there. One for 8 with 4 strikeouts in his career against the A's left-hander. He's a little tardy.
Miller used to take the bat, just hold it in left hand straight back, and then put his right hand on it. He's changed that. It's amazing. You have success doing one thing and you change. Sometimes surprising.
Astros leading the Red Sox 7-6 in the top of the 7th inning. So a little bit of a wild one at Fenway. Blue Jays leading the Rangers 1-0 in the top of the 7th. A slider. Clayton picks it up. Flips to first. 2 outs. So now Beckham will hit. So Beckham digs in. He walked in the first, struck out in the 4th, struck out in the 6th.
And the one in the 6th might have been the most amazing. Fastball, fastball, fastball.
The swing kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And that was with the runner at third. It's a huge run that did not score.
Swing and a miss.
But to your point, Cap, about starters versus relievers, and relievers now, that kind of a power arm. Fernando Rodriguez from the right side, mid-90s. Sean Doolittle, left side. Fastball, especially upper zone, with a mid to upper 90s. It's a 95, rear back, try to hit it.
I mean, it's not easy to hit in the late innings.
No, it's not.
And if you're a left-handed hitter, every team has some type of lefty that's his single job is to get left-handed hitters out. Whether it be side armor or somebody like Doolittle who threw 95. And you know what, now too, almost every team has a right-handed slider pitcher. Right. It's tough on right-handed.
Right. Yeah, Triggs might have found a home here with his delivery. Right now Sean Doolittle, let's see if Foda gets the fastball and goes upstairs. Yeah, he wants it up and kind of wait till the last right there, and then he goes upstairs and there's your swing and miss.
No chance as Doolittle strikes out a pair in the 8th, blows it right by Tim Beckham. So 9th inning coming up. A's hanging on to a 6-3 lead.
This delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It was a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. And you might get to hear Cotton Eye Joe in the 8th inning here at Tropicana Field.
So the A's with a 6-3 lead. So we have the top of the order up against pitcher number 4 tonight for the Rays. It's Ryan Webb. Webb, first pitch strike to Coco Crisp. Coco's 0 for 4. Webb, no record. 12 hits and 2 walks in 9 innings. Coco. Linesman toward Kiermaier, playing shallow. He has it. A quiet night for Coco Crisp. He's 0 for 5. Ryan Matson. Maybe a save opportunity for Matson if the A's do not tack on any insurance runs here in the ninth. So I guess you could say a much calmer game tonight after what happened in Boston. Things just kind of got away from the A's. Slider down low to Burns. Burns is 1 for 4. A single back in the first inning. Long at bat.
Cap, there's your sidearm slinger a little bit.
A little bit.
Not really true sidearm, but enough of a different angle from the right-hander, even to the left-handed hitter.
But a guy who probably, if you're a right-handed hitter, would be a tough at bat.
Probably would feature a little bit more of a drop down.
Stays away from Burns and just missed. So now 3-1 with Reddick to follow. In the bottom of the ninth, they will have Kiermaier, Casali, and Geyer. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Rays. Tapped in the hole. Miller guns it across, not in time, and it's an infield hit for Burns. And Burns is 2 for 5.
Major League Baseball celebrates all forms of youth baseball and softball, from organized league games to simply playing catch. Come out to the Coliseum May 28th and 29th for MLB's inaugural Play Ball Weekend. Proudly is supported by Chevrolet and Scott's. On Sunday, May 29th, 10,000 fans will receive bat and ball sets. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets. That is a great weekend of baseball, and you also have the Josh Reddick bobblehead on the 28th, Saturday.
So Reddick steps in. Quick throw. Burns gets back. Burns with 8 steals on the year. He's been thrown out twice.
Is that a pitch out or a pitch outside? Sally moved outside, almost like he called a pitch out. Kevin Cash, a former catcher managing the Rays, so you have to figure he's the one that would call the signs. Tim Foley, the bench coach, is there as well.
Careful there. Jose Altuve leads the American League in steals with 13. Ellsbury has 9. Burns and Rajay Davis have 8. Rajay still stealing bags. There goes Burns. Pitches a strike. Throw to second base. Not in time. And Burns keeps his hand on the bag, and he has stolen base number 9.
Well, Casali has a good arm, but if talk about, and we did talk about how few base runners have been thrown out, but really how long it took Webb to get rid of the ball. And Casale with a strong throw, but really there's no chance. With that big delivery, a quick release by Casale, got it on the bag, but Burns, the only possibility if Miller kept the tag on just in case, but Burns kept it on, his hand on the bag.
So now he's in scoring position. See if Reddick can get him home. Reddick a single, a walk, a strikeout, and a fly ball to left field. There's that Webb changeup that he's just trying to catch the outside corner with to left-handed hitters.
Well, there go the infielders.
Shifting, and now the infielders are all walking over, but they're going to they're going to walk Reddick and face Chris Davis. So that'll finish up the intentional walk. So another RBI opportunity for Davis. He hit a 3-run homer in the first. And then in the second inning, he came up with the bases loaded and he hit a line drive that Kiermaier caught in right center field. Reddick gets his 4th intentional walk.
Last 3 seasons, 2 total. Says a lot about his production this year.
Davis hits it hard. Nice play by Miller out at second, and that's a nice double play by the Rays. So the A's are retired. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Madsen trying to save it for the A's.
CSN California is brought to you by Toyota. It's Toyota time for big savings on legendary Toyota quality. Take a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
Danny Valencia has a 2-homer game. And the A's trying to wrap up a win in game 1 of this series. They lead the Rays 6-3, bottom of the 9th inning. Danny Valencia from Florida. He enjoys it down here. So here's Ryan Madsen, a save opportunity. He's going to try to save it for Rich Hill. So Madsen facing Kiermaier, and he taps one slowly. Lindorf charges and he kicks off his glove, and the Rays got a base runner here in the 9th. Well, Lindorf charged it, and he had to charge it because Kiermaier is very fast.
Can't have a base hit on that, huh? Wow. Catches it. Quick throw. He's going to be out. It's surprising, but I'm sure Kiermaier will take it. Madsen trying to get a 1-pitch out. There's Dickerson, the power hitter, the big swinger, is pinch hitting.
So this is Corey Dickerson, powerful left-handed hitter. Came over from the Colorado Rockies in the offseason. For Jake McGee, the left-handed closer, who is now doing that with the Rockies. So Dickerson steps in. Geyer will be next. First pitch, swing and miss.
Talking to Jim Palmer, or listening to Jim Palmer up in Baltimore, and he said, you watch Dickerson every swing. He swings hard. Well, he just brought some air in this dome for that big swing. Powerful young man. He didn't even swing that hard at Colorado.
Nope. He's played pretty straight up defensively. And Dickerson waving away a changeup, and it's 0-2.
You get a big swing like that on a fastball, and you pull the string, and he's got the same one with the movement of the ball away from the left-hander. The changeup, pull the string,
and he got it. 3 pitches. Dickerson strikes out, and Madsen kind of saw the first swing and said, I got this guy right where I want him.
Well, and exactly, and look at the location. Not only a changeup, both of them the same location, tailing away, coming out of the hand, and you throw that pitch, and it still say you can go fastball changeup.
See, that's another example, Ray.
Yeah.
What you need there more than anything is a patient at bat to try to get another base runner to get the tying run to the plate.
Exactly.
Whereas Dickerson's trying to hit a 2-run homer, which would make it 6-5.
Well, and you know, probably the only hitter he's going to pinch at 4. But you're right.
Yeah.
But he had in the mind to make it a 1-run game when he should have been saying, let me get on base.
Let me work the count at least have a plan going in there to.
Yeah. And actually you get a gift with the first hitter, and it's ball up and in. Morrison in the on deck circle to pinch hit for Jennings, who has walked 3 times tonight.
I mean, it's another example, right? Geyer swung at 2 balls.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's
you know, it just doesn't seem like there's a plan.
And
I'm not saying just give yourself up and fall behind in the count, but make sure the guy throws you a strike.
A strike, and almost take a pitch. You're down 3, you take a strike.
The 1-2 the count to Geyer. Jennings is the scheduled hitter, but Jennings.
It's Logan Morrison.
Logan Morrison.
Yeah.
Madsen is going to chat with Stephen Vogt.
One of the best things a pitcher catcher can do is talk.
Especially in the bottom of the ninth.
Exactly. You know, game's 3 hours long anyway. It's not like you're trying to push for a 2-hour game. And you know, a little indecision maybe on Madsen's part. 2 strikes on the hitter. Stephen Vogt, let's talk about it. And you come back and you're on the same page, and that's important for especially the pitcher when he delivers the pitch.
And that hit him.
That was not what they talked about. No, number 12, and he feels this one.
Like Geyer having his right hand checked, which would be his top hand. That hit right and went underneath the left hand. Geyer still being checked out by the trainer and the manager. So 12th time that Geyer's been hit, and this is the 33rd game for the Rays. So
24 hit by pitch last year.
So he's going to stay in.
And he wears no protection either. I mean, protection like a shin guard on the arm. But definitely felt that one.
So here's Logan Morrison. Morrison last year with the Mariners, saw quite a bit of him. Trying to get things going here this year. First pitch to Morrison, and rolls over on that one. Last year, Morrison hit 17 homers, 54 RBIs for the Mariners, but it's hard to believe this year he does not have a home run and he does not have an RBI.
And you don't want to see either one of them.
No, we do, especially that home run thing.
Yeah, because
he's got 10 hits, a couple of doubles. He's come to the plate 79 at bats this year. He's got 29 strikeouts. He's never had a hit against Madsen.
But one of the problems you have in like this, you know eventually he's going to break out
somewhere. You
know, and you just don't want it to be at an inappropriate time if you're right now hoping for the A's to break the 5-game losing streak.
One low. I mean, Morrison hit. I wouldn't say he's ever been a great hitter, but he's been a productive player his whole career offensively. Big trade with the Mariners. Miller, Morrison, Danny Farquhar, who's in the minor leagues, came to the Rays. Nate Carnes went to Seattle. Off the plate, and now it's 3-1, and Longoria standing in the on-deck circle. So that's the Rays closer, Alex Colomé.
Well, Madsen DeVoe trying to stay away from Logan Morrison. All 4 pitches, including the changeup of the first pitch, that was fouled, is outside.
Pitch is low, and the bases are loaded with 1 out, and here comes Longoria. Seven walks by the A's pitchers. And the hit batter really hurts because he was ahead of the count.
He was ahead of him, and of course a slow hit ball to Landendorf.
So Longoria has walked, grounded out, doubled in a run, and struck out. He's 1 for 3.
Really, the A's right now have to play no doubles. They did not walk the runner from. They'll concede the first 2, but not the runner at third.
First pitch misses low. Landendorf playing right near second base, so there's a pretty good hole on the right side. Alonso off the bag. Burns slid over toward right center just a bit. Outfield is deep. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 94. Longoria maybe pulled off just a little bit.
Well, and Madsen going with a fastball. Vogt sets up inside. It's on the corner, and they have scouting reports, and it was Longoria who swung at a Fernando Rodriguez fastball away from him his last at bat. That was on the 0-2 fastball that he swung and missed, and now going back inside.
Just a touch outside. Nothing's easy for the A's right now.
But and just thinking about Madsen, I mean, you said save situation unless the A's score more runs. Well, you get a save situation. The optimum is a 3-run lead, but you know how many times have you been in the position to do that? And since the early part of the season, not much.
And now 3-1. Madsen throwing hard, 96 miles an hour, but just a little off. Steve Pearce, right-handed hitter with power, is in the on-deck circle. So the crowd tonight, over 14,000. They're into it now. Kiermaier, Geyer, Morrison are your runners. Three-one pitch is popped up foul. It was a strike.
And if it's ever a pitch to know what you're going to get predictable, that's it. And you got it 3-1, just found it back. So you'd have to think Ryan Madsen's got to go to the same heater and just a matter of location. But if you pull the string, on the changeup. I don't know that I take a chance because Longoria is a good mistake hitter.
There's a shot. Valencia with a great play.
Wow.
Out number 2.
You know the way that ball was hooking, it might have gone to the corner. It gets by him. Longoria had already hit a double on a breaking ball down to the corner. And what a play by Danny Valencia as he just dashed to his left. And you see where the left fielder Chris was playing and the way this ball was smoked and hooking. And Danny Valencia got it before it got past him and hit the turf and took off. Longoria could not hit it any harder. Fortunately, Danny Valencia made a great play.
So 2 outs, and here's Pierce. Pierce is 1 for 4. He's got 5 home runs on the year. And he hits one towards center, but in the ballpark. Burns into right center field. He's got it, and the A's hang on and win the ball game. Well, it certainly wasn't easy, but when you're sitting on a 5-game losing streak, it never seems easy.
No.
But the A's win it. Rich Hill gets his 5th win. Matson does what he needs to do, and a big night for that man, Danny Valencia. So it took 3 hours and 6 minutes, and it was played in front of 14,604, and the A's get back in the win column as they break their 5-game losing streak. 6-3 is the final. A's over the Rays. You've been watching A's Baseball on CSN California, part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Mindy Bach and Pip Roberts starts right now.